So these are pretty awesome, these old Alaskan campers. They make them new as well. They're still in production today. They've been around forever, I think the 50s. This is a 1971 and this is a 10-footer. This is an NCO, which means non-cabover. They make a version with the bed over the cab. This isn't it. Again, this is a 10-footer and they're pretty sought after. I mean, you cannot find these things. I found one, after buying this, one came up and it was really just toast, and it was an 8-footer and it was nothing really much left of it, and it went in like a day, and it was around 800 bucks. So this one's pretty minty inside. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 for sure. It's all original and it is the 10-footer, which is pretty cool. So that is that. These guys weigh around 1,500 pounds dry weight, so it's not really a half-ton pickup truck setup. And this one being a 10-footer means your box has to be 8 foot. It can't be a 6.5-foot bed, and then with the tailgate down end up being around 8 feet. This thing is 10 feet long, so with an 8-foot bed with the tailgate down, everything stays within that tailgate. So that's kind of cool, and that's why I grabbed that Ford. Hopefully the Ford will, work out here. We'll see where that goes. But the camper is ready to go. And a lot of guys just stick these on a trailer, an 8x10, or sorry, a 4x8 or 5x8 trailer or whatever, and throw them in the back and away you go. But they're pretty cool for sure. Anyway, let's take a look at the original pop-up camper, the Alaskan Camper from 1971. So here it is, guys, 1971 Alaskan Camper. And it is in the upright position right now, and I'll show you that business in a minute. It's got the original lights here. Everything in here is original. I'm blown away at the condition of this thing. It actually has one owner. Really, it was an old guy that another guy bought it from, and he just bought it so he could sell it and make some dough. And I'm the guy who he made some dough from. But realistically, it's one owner. Now two, because I'm going to use it. And this is what it looks like inside. It's like an old boat. These things are awesome. This one, to me, they're awesome anyway. This one is the 10-footer NCO, and NCO means non-cabover. So this one's just like a big box. And there's this original stove, 3-burner stove, propane. And the top is absolutely, it's almost mint. There's one little nick here, but really it's nothing. The countertop is minty as well. And I'll go over everything here with you. Below that is the heater, propane heater right there. I haven't hooked up anything to this yet, so I don't know what's working and what's not. It also has the propane fridge. And it's pretty cool. Here is the cutting board. Need to clean this thing up a little bit. Storage. Of course, these lock down. You kind of got to lift them up to bump them out. You know, if they didn't do that, otherwise everything would be all over the place. Here's another drawer here, and it's like a little toolbox. Very cool. Everything's heavy duty. This is all 1/2-inch ply. So they really weren't trying to save weight back then, that's for sure. Or at least it doesn't look like it. It's got these guys here, which obviously keep the drawers closed when you're bouncing around off-road or whatever. So that's cool, and every one of them is still working perfectly, and that's under the sink here. All this stuff is original. It's all copper lines in here. And how this works is this guy is disconnected, probably because it's winterized right now. This guy goes to the outside, and that's where you can hook up a hose or whatever, and that will pressurize this line here, which is that faucet. So that's for a hookup water. And then if you wanted to fill your tank in this thing, you would just open this valve here, and the water flows through here, under here, and all the way to the 20-gallon tank. And from that tank, you can see that plastic hose, that's original. That comes back from the tank, and this is it here, and it goes up to the hand pump faucet. So again, I got to test that out. I don't know what's happening with that. Your gray water is, obviously nothing's hooked up here. Your gray water comes out here, and you can either get it into a jug here if you like, or straight outside into a jug or whatever, but this feeds outside of the truck. And again, there's a gas line here. Everything's copper. Beauty. Tons of storage in here. And this is a hydraulic pump. And this lowers and raises the lid to this thing, and I'll show you that. It's pretty cool. These are anchor points, so if you want to bolt this down to your truck, it's right there ready to go. There's 4 of them, one in each corner of this box. And there's the old heater. The flooring looks to me, it's probably asbestos, but you know what, I'd really have to taste it to find out. The 2 couches are awesome. I don't know if that's original material or not, but they're in perfect shape. Maybe a little bit of a cleaning. Other than that, it's good to go. These guys are 6 foot 2 inches long, so you could get 2 people just crashing on them like that. Or of course they fold out. That table drops down, they fold out, and they go right across here, which I'm just eyeballing. It looks like about a queen size area. So lots of room there. What else can I show you here? Oh yeah, the blinds are just epic. They gotta be original. I mean, you know what? You're not going out and buying these on your own. They must have come with this thing. So yeah, that's cool. Lots of storage space up top here. And again, you can see that the cabinets are all curved. It's very cool. There's the one mirror here, if I got a shave or something. There's that guy. Tubes are where this thing jacks up with the hydraulics. So basically, I'll show you that in detail in a second. You pump this guy up, and once this hole is exposed, they all have pins at each corner, and you just put the pin in, and then you lower down, take the pressure off the valve, and it lowers down, rests on the pins, and you're good to go. And height-wise, headroom here, I believe it's 6 foot 4. Here's the fan, or vent, actually it's no fan. I'm gonna put a fantastic fan or something like that in there for sure. And as we go along here, this is kind of cool. I didn't know what these were. Well, it took me a second. So these little guys hold the hatches open. Little magnetic guy there. So that's that. And maybe this is vintage too, I don't know. So lots of storage. You got 4 more here. And more paper towel back there. Oh no, toilet paper, so that's good. Hydraulic brass poles. And this has got, what else we got up here? Just some, there's some light bulbs in there. What do we got? So we got some books and magazines in here. And I haven't looked at these yet. Bow hunting mags. Alaska Outdoors from '85. Hunting magazines. This one is from '88. Oh yeah, these corner brackets here, basically when you lower this thing, these brackets come down and rest on each corner, and that's as far as this thing goes down. There's a little bit of rot here. I see some water damage, but really not much, maybe in about 3 spots. I would give this about an 8 out of 10 as far as mintiness goes. This feature is awesome. This guy is a hammock. So if you're out there and and you've got your kids with you or whatever, you can fit 2 adults down here. You've got the hammock that comes out. Okay, so there you go. You got your hammock set up. So the 2 kids could be up top there. And you know what? There's lots of room. Your feet would be under there. So if they came down, it wouldn't be too bad. But that's pretty cool. And that was an original option, which is pretty awesome. I haven't seen any of these online, so this might interest some people. The width of this thing, outside dimensions, at the widest point is about 80 inches. So I would think you've easily got, I haven't measured this, but I would think this has got to be 6 feet for sure. The countertops look original to me. And it also has this guy. Just snaps in, and that support just pops in. So that's awesome, awesome. What else we got here? Large drawers, lots of storage under here. These guys, I don't know what are. I found these, and they're purposely made for something. They're this shape, and they also have this little ledge on it for something. I got to figure out what's going on. If you know anything about that, let me know. It has a big drawer space underneath here. Lots of room for storage there. What else? And of course this table collapses so you have the bed. So once you have the bed set up, and the top is the same as the kitchen counter. So again, I'm thinking this is original. Under there is your 20-gallon water supply. And of course we got tons of storage under here. So when you're looking at this here, and you can see it's pretty heavy duty, everything's 1/2 inch ply. This is 3/4 inch. So this is actually where your wheel wells would be. So this would butt up against your wheel wells. And then behind the wheel wells and in front of the wheel wells, you have kind of dead space. So this opens up, and there's one on each side, so you can reach into your wheel wells and get what you need. But I have something that fits on either side of this, and it's pretty cool, and I'll show you those here in a sec. This obviously holds the fridge door closed when traveling, and you can switch these out so you have a left or right hinge opening, and that's the fridge right there. So you know what, I haven't tested this either. Little freezer, but everything looks intact and looks to be in good shape. Dairy bar and somewhere for your eggs, and this guy opens up for more stuff. Hopefully you can see this properly. It's right by the entrance. It's got kind of a tall cabinet section here. Again, more storage above the fridge. And inside it, there was a couple options I've read that this could kind of hinge open, and you could put a crapper in here, like a potty or whatever, and you can sit in there, or you can stand, or whatever you got to do. This one wasn't set up for that. Whether it was used for that or not, I'm not sure. I don't think it was, because it's got this little guy here, which is pretty cool. It's got storage in the back, and if you haven't tried this double wood 12-year-old, it's an awesome scotch. It's up there for sure. So this guy here pulls out, and that's where you'd have your coats, your shirts, or whatever. So this is set up as a little closet, which is pretty cool. Inside the door, some instructions. What came with this, and I'll show you the holes for this. You see this is to outside. And I found these guys. And what goes on with these is, so this is the side boxes. There's one on either side. And if you can imagine, this sits up in that gap. And you got to remember, this is the 10-footer, so you have to have a full-size bed for this. So, you know, 8 foot is roughly here, and then this thing's hanging out onto the tailgate. This is the last 2 feet. So you got, you know, roughly 8 feet, and then another 2 feet on the tailgate. So that's where this guy would be set up. So that's what I'm kind of talking about there. So the exposed, you know, part of this camper is about 2 feet, you know, hanging out onto the tailgate. So they've clad this in the same material. So that's kind of cool. I don't know if that was a factory option or not. I should contact them and find out. They've been great, by the way. I've asked them how to mount these plates, and they got right back to me the next day. Alaskan Camper, that is. So that fits in the wheel well. So now you've got this awesome space. Basically, what happens is, with those butterfly bolts, you screw them in. Here, it's all set up for it. So this goes through the camper wall that I showed you, and comes in and pins these guys in, and you just hand tighten them, and that's it. So what I'm thinking is, you can store a ton of stuff in here, and to get at them, you just unscrew from the inside and pull them out. So here's what it looks like when it's down, and you can see it's, you know, it's really tiny compared to when it's up, that's for sure. And the only thing you're seeing pretty much is this rounded part sticking out of the truck box here. So again, it just kind of looks like a fat topper. It's indiscreet for sure, and it raises up that couple feet. So that's the guy. So basically what you do is, you come in here and you grab the jack. You make sure this guy's down tight, and then you just start cranking this. This is with the camper down, the top is lowered, and you could easily still camp in here or sleep in here for sure. So it doesn't take long. It takes maybe 2 minutes at the most to crank this thing up, and it's not a hard job. It's just, you just pump this jack and away it goes. So the plan is, I'm going to do a ton of camping this year. I'm going to do a ton of fly fishing, and in the fall I'm going to do a ton of hunting. I don't know what I'm going to do about the hunting, if I'm going to put that into YouTube or not. Still undecided. But I'm going to get out there and do tons of stuff in the mountains. I'm going to do some overlanding with the 4Runner and the Yoho 4Runner bed, and I'm also going to use this bad boy. To open it, obviously from inside, you can just pop this open, and it has a lock from the inside, of course, and I've got the key for this. I'm going to replace this seal. You can still buy this stuff, of course, because Alaskan campers are still being made today, so there is support for this thing, believe it or not. And you've got a lock on the inside as well. You can just unlatch that, and away you go, you're inside. I'm going to grease these up. I hear that you're supposed to use a lithium grease in here, and this probably hasn't been done for a while. Still functioning okay, but I'm going to tune this thing up for sure. So to lower this thing, you just got to make sure the valve is tight, and you're going to give it one crank. And what that does is lifts the roof a bit, and now you can access the pin and undo it. Do that at all four corners. And now what you can do is just give this guy a little twist. And I'm just going to do it slow here. You can hear it coming down. And again, I'm just doing it really slowly here to make sure nothing binds, but it's coming down nice and pretty even. And if it's not, you just kind of give it a little pull. Done deal. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this will be on the Ford here shortly.